you're so much better at this. Is the iPad set up right?
That's
you
probably
think?
left, yeah.
I don't know. I don't use it that well.
Before you
I
guys
usually have it just flat.
I feel like that's so hard to read. Now both of us can read it.
That's true. That's true.
I'm here with 3/5 of the Styx Ferrymen. I've got Baskin, Cyclonespin, and Aror, the think tank, and potentially maybe between the three of you, of any given 3 players in the SPL, maybe the most competitive history, I think. Zatman and Barracuda probably also in that conversation, but you guys have been around.
You're just saying it's like a collective, right?
Yeah, you guys have been around a long time.
I think there's a... Wait, you guys started season 1?
Yeah.
We started pre-season 1.
Yeah.
I started like midway through season 2, so I think there's a couple of players that have more than me.
I used to
No,
beef
he's
with
saying
you guys
as
so
a
heavy.
collective, though, we have the most.
Wait, what? Like
From any 3 players.
Yeah, from any 3 players that you can
Yeah.
like, mix and match. We probably do, honestly.
Yeah, maybe.
Like on any given
big
team.
Variety.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Big
one. too.
variety, that's just it, though.
Who's their third?
I mean, it would be Zap and Barra, maybe.
Yeah.
Big Man started.
Zap for sure
Yeah, Big
outdates
Man started
Barra.
pretty early. Maybe it's them. Maybe it's
Well, Big Man didn't start.
he was support like in season 2 or 3. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
I think he started around the same time I did, like late season 2 or mid season 2, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. I remember he joined. The team was 0. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll defer to you guys. You guys have always impressed me with how knowledgeable you are about
I
the
don't know
history of
EU
SMITE.
teams.
Yeah, that's a major hole in my knowledge as well. I did not watch EU at all.
I know. I only knew the teams that made it to the LAN. I didn't really pay attention to them outside of it.
And why would you? You know.
Yeah, there's just no point. It's too much effort.
But as far as like North American history goes and stuff like that, I feel like you guys absolutely dominant in it. But this is a team check-in, so I have to get into the nitty-gritty of it. We haven't had a whole lot of SMITE recently, to be sure. Pretty long off season, but since the last time I think we sat down and talked with you guys, Masters has happened, All-Stars, Roll Stars as well. So talk me through Masters a little bit. Was that a breakout performance from you guys that you weren't expecting? And I know every time I ask you, Aurora, a question like this, you're always expecting to do well, always expecting to win. True competitor, but realistically, did you see yourselves winning out on the phase?
It was a Baskin master class during Masters.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I think I thought we were gonna do well. I mean, we had a rough phase, but it happens, and I feel like we all know how good of a team that we can be. So we just stayed confident and stuck with it, and we did well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember too well, but I don't think our scrims were going that well before Masters, right?
We got stomped by the Ravens
Yeah, we
for
were
like the
getting-
first day, and then we started beating them.
Yeah.
Didn't we win?
We did
Yeah,
win.
no,
couple games,
we
we
got
did?
stomped by them at the beginning, and then the day after they had like 10K leads, and we won every single game, and
Yeah.
then
Ooh.
it was over.
But before that, we were getting...
After that, we were getting destroyed by them.
Which I actually took that as a good sign, because I feel like
Yeah,
losing scrims... is
You
better.
learn the most when
Yeah.
you're getting destroyed for
that
no
is
reason.
true.
Yeah.
That's got to be like the best case scenario for scrims, which is fall behind and then still win at the end. Like that is ideal practice.
Yeah, we broke that team.
Yeah,
You mental boomed them for sure.
No, we broke that team. No, I asked Vera, and he said yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I could...
They literally lost 3 straight scrims to us with a 10K lead.
Yeah, that would mental boom me
No, it was
super hard.
I do remember like 2 of the games. I mean, I guess I could say they were playing Baka, and they got like, I think that's the biggest lead I've ever like had like against me like ever. Like
They were just running
game.
like
it was
they were
crazy.
running a bunch of assassins with a soul, and they were getting 10K leads.
It was like no, it was like 10K at like
yeah, like 10 minutes. Yeah,
it was actually crazy, and it's not like we were trolling. Like
and
that
then they lost.
was actually crazy how much of a lead that they had. But yeah,
and then they lost.
yeah.
Yeah, they just randomly lost the game to us.
can we okay?
We had
Let's
some OP comps.
let's get off track here. Let's define some words.
Okay, yeah, I'm down.
Okay, so how do we define the word trolling or troll?
You can go ahead, Baskin.
This is
Well-
I feel like
It's contextual, no?
is it like let's define it though. Like I want to hear your definition, Myflin, of like trolling or troll.
Anytime. So when I was a competitor,
Okay.
and how I would describe my teammates if they were trolling is anytime I sensed that I was getting less than 100%. If they came in and like comms weren't rolling, people weren't like analyzing post game, if I wasn't getting like 100% effort, I would say they were trolling. And then here's how I'm a bad teammate. I would start trolling. Like if I sense that my team isn't doing it, my immediate thought process is, why would I? You know, like why would I put in that effort? So that's where I'm at there.
I like that a lot because I've always asked people like what trolling is because I feel like everybody says everything is troll. Like if you do something, if you make a bad play, it's troll. If you int, it's troll. If you lose a game, it's troll.
I hate that stuff.
Your definition is, I like that. That's how I'm gonna roll with it from now on. That's how I'm gonna look at it. That's trolling.
I think it's context dependent because like, I mean, if someone says like, let's say we're playing ranked and like for the most part it's try hard and then like they get picked, they're like someone will say like, oh, I trolled. I just take that to mean, oh, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
But then like,
oh, I'm griefing.
Yeah,
like
you're a big grief user. Like when I watch your stream, you love using like griefed.
Grief is funny.
Grief is a good word.
It makes me laugh every time, bro. He's like, you'll be like sitting in lane, your support like random will dash in a tower as Athena miss taunt and die, and you're like, this guy is griefing me, and without fail, I crack up, dude. Yeah, not a lot to work with there.
It's been a while since I last streamed though. So.
It has been a minute, yeah.
Okay, so troll is a good word. I'm blanking. There was like 2 other good words too that people always use. Oh, what about let's go? What do you guys like that? Like after someone makes a good play, is that like a good thing to use or what? You're a fan? Are you a let's go fan?
Okay.
You've dropped a let's go or two. In
I mean, haven't we all? I mean, the thing is,
I don't remember the last time I just dropped.
Yeah, Cyclone has never said let's go in his life.
I just say nice.
I've never.
Yeah, I say no. I'm a nice as well.
It's a nice. It's a nice.
Nice is. I like nice. Nice is nice.
Paul's also someone I've never heard say let's go.
I feel
That's
like
nice.
He'll just say kill him really slow.
Yeah,
you can really tell the difference in like the person. I think like the let's goers are like the PBMs.
Yeah, by I was gonna say PBMs. Blast Bros.
Like if they're not playing Smite and you can imagine them in the gym or playing like flag football, they're a let's goer.
Yeah, it's like a very hype phrase.
If you're a nicer, like you're spending your off time like playing Pokemon or something, you know what I mean? Like that's my vibe.
Let's go.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, whatever you want to play.
Nice.
You catch some Mewtwo, you're saying nice, not let's go.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
I think it's also been in eras as well. Like back in season 2, everybody was a nicer. Like Met Yankee back then was the biggest nice spammer on the planet. I thought it was hilarious. But I feel like as the years went on, Let's Go like became much more popular.
Yeah.
I feel like there was some Let's Go back in season 1 from I remember at least isn't Snoopy a big Let's Goer? Or maybe I'm wrong.
Nah, he's not like
as a memer though, not like
he says it in like a trolly way.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's huge on
like a sarcastic Let's
That's
Go.
what
maybe?
I remember from like season 1 Cog Red, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting how the vernacular develops in like different like gaming scenes though, because I mean it happens in real life with like friend groups and stuff. But I've been watching a lot of TFT recently, and it's funny because all the streamers talk the same way, and I started watching them, and I
I pick it up too.
Yeah, and I play with like some friends, and we talk like the same way, like, oh, this is 8th. Like we say it like as a joke, but then
the fast 8th
or vernacular, like, oh, or this spot's illegal right here or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just funny, but then it becomes like,
and you
say unironically.
You also say sarcastically say how this game is so bad.
Yeah.
Dude, I got told recently that I have an FPS accent. You know what I mean? Like FPS
Valorant
players
accent?
like speak a very specific way.
Valorant specifically, it's really bad.
It messed me up because it happened on a date. Like,
really?
On a date?
I met a girl on like an app. We went on a date and she's like, "Man, you got Valorant accent." I was
really?
Like,
I feel like
I was like, actually, it's Smite accent though.
Did you get up and leave right away when she said that?
No. When you're like me, you take what you get.
Did you say like when she said you got? Did you say GG after you?
I probably did say a GG's go next at some point during the day. You know,
Probably
like dap her up at the after, like yo, good work out there.
Probably like that wasn't poggers of you.
Dude, I'm a big poggers user actually. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Same.
I love it. I love the ironic poggers.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying it ironically though, but now I just kind of say it and like normal, like you know, remember YOLO?
Oh, dude, YOLO was massive back in the day.
But I feel like everyone who said that was saying it ironically at first, because like it was just like, oh yeah, like
I still use that every once in a while.
Yeah, but now everyone, like people who say it like just like actually like meaning it.
Dude, I haven't let a YOLO fly in years.
Same.
I think this is the first time I've said it in actual years.
The last time I talked to my brother, I forget what we were talking. Oh, we were talking about. He was talking about something he was gonna do for his stream, and I was like YOLO, and that's the last time I used it. Actually, unironically, I was like YOLO, and he's like, yeah, I'll just YOLO it, I guess.
Yeah.
That was funny.
All right, my producers tell me I got to get us at least one on-track question. Aurora, I think I saw from you on Twitter recently, or maybe it was on a stream. You're really enjoying the new patch, right?
Yeah, I like it. I don't like that Arrow is back. Don't build Arrow in Dual Lane.
Yeah, look at all the ADCs in chat right now.
It ruins ranked. Don't build that item, because at the start of the game, if you have Arrow, you cannot clear the buff camps, and then if you can't clear the buff camps, you make two people not have fun in the game. You make yourself not have fun, which is all the reason that you need to not build it. And then you don't have, the support has no fun, so.
And would you take the fun
No
away
Arrow.
from
No
Aurora?
Arrow.
But besides that, what about this patch are you guys enjoying? Like, for me personally, and you guys in particular can really speak to this, I have always been a massive hater of dark maps. Like when the map is purple, or like when it was like there was like a reddish map in the past as well. Hate that. So every time these colorful maps come in, it's like a big breath of fresh air for me.
Yeah.
The one map that I did like that I guess was considered a dark, was the winter map considered a dark map or no?
It was
like
like whitish, so it's
Yeah.
That one was bright.
That was like monochrome,
yeah, that
though.
was one of my favorite maps.
That one was bright, I feel like.
A
It
lot
was
of people
bright but all white.
A lot of people didn't like it, I feel like, from my memory, but maybe I'm wrong. But I enjoyed that one a lot. But yeah, I like that. And then, I mean, Kabrakan and Ares got a change as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm going to have fun with that. So
Yeah, literally, we were like in playtest, and I'm saying like, so we're just like buffing Aurora or what? Like,
that's funny.
what about you, Baskin? Anything in particular you're liking about the season of celebration? I believe is the prop.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I mean, I love the patch. I actually tweeted that the same thing you just said with like I tweeted like I think like sunny maps are better than dark maps.
It's just so much more fun.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that stuff matters for sure. I really like the recipes, even though like I literally always forget to buy them. Cyclone literally reminds me. How many out of how many scrims do you think you remind me?
all of them.
Okay, I maybe remembered like once to buy a recipe, but yeah. I think like those recipes, they're a little imbalanced right now. I think they know, but they kind of allow for some of the weaker gods, like especially gooseberries. Some of the gods that were lacking in clear, you could pick up gooseberries and
Duck Goose.
yeah, get away with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also was a big fan of Beacon, and they just made it so there's
You
more
mean
than
Bastion?
3. Or yeah, no.
Dude, Baskin has ruined me, by the way, for the rest of my life, because he called every beacon Bastion, and I started doing it, and now I get confused every time, even though I know what it is in my head. I'm like,
Baskin, Bastion,
Yeah.
Beacon.
I would
Bastion's
say-
up.
I would always say like I'm TPing to Bastion.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, you would say
Yeah.
Bastion's coming up soon. I can
Or,
rotate.
yeah, or I'd say like, can we fight this Bastion? Or, like they're on Bastion or something. I don't know. It's they're pretty similar sounding words.
Yeah, and they're right
You've
next to each other,
ruined me.
kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
You've completely ruined me, though. I was playing with Cyclone last night. I called it. I'm like, is it Bastion or
Yeah.
Beacon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a great patch. Also, I'm a big fan of them like buffing like these older, outdated kits, and sort of making them like kind of new gods, kind of like not really, but like Apollo.
New spin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big fan of that, like buffing the.
And I think it's
Aristocrat.
not even that it's just a new spin with Apollo in particular. It's also that it's like a new mechanic to Smite. Like Griffin Wing was the first thing,
Yeah.
and the only thing that changes like projectile velocity or speed.
Yeah.
So having it like inherent to a kit now, like I think is very interesting as well. It makes me miss auto attacks. Have you played with it yet, Cyclone?
Like a couple times.
I mean, I don't know if Apollo's good right now, but I'm definitely whiffing because like
Apollo's
it's
OP.
jarring. It
Yeah.
feels like. You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about crit a little bit earlier. What do you think? Is it actually a hunter meta, or are these guys spreading
It's
propaganda?
100 meta.
I don't build crit, but
You've never wanted to
Is it
build
100
crit
meta though?
throughout all the
I don't know if
years.
it's 100 meta.
Oh, this guy.
I feel like,
People build crit because they buy Gilded Arrow.
and then
Yeah.
So they're inting half their game to buy crit later.
Okay,
Is it Death's Toll time, or are we still in a cow world? Like, where are we going?
Just literally build.
Not
You
Arrow.
can build War Flag and it'd be better than Gilded Arrow. I'm pretty sure.
Really? New Warflag's like pretty good. Like I'm loving Warflag right now to support. Are you a Warflag abuser?
Yeah, I was saying for the longest time, I think a lot of supports were like, I think Inbound,
Shouts
new
Inbound.
caster, by the way,
Shouts Inbound. We love Bobby.
Mike, Genetics, almost like every support was saying if Warflag had the same mechanic as Sentinels and Benevolence, and I was also saying this too, it would be bought just as much, or you could make like an argument that it could be bought just as much as those items. And then they did that, and then look, people are buying it now, so I think it's great. So there's a lot of variety in like the support starters. You can go Benevolence, you can go Sentinels, you can go Warflag. I feel like all three are good, and they all like fulfill like a different role that's good in the game. And you can kind of like I had a guy, there's a guy running around in ranked. He plays Khepri and Athena, and he always goes Boon. He always goes the Sundering Leash, like not the green Sunder.
Is this Dashboard?
And Blink. No, it's not Dashboard. It's Tyler Stewart 8, I think is his name.
Shouts Tyler Stewart.
But he goes Boon, the Sundering Siphon, and Blink as Khepri and Athena every game, and I just think that's fun. I'm like, I mean, hey, it works, and like it's actually good. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, the majority of this patch I think has really allowed for a lot more player expression. You see it now that the builds have diversified a little bit with starter items. You can further change up and prove like how you want to play the game based on which recipe you decide to go for.
And the tikis.
And the tikis as well. So I think anything that allows players to have that skill expression or have that just personality expression of, hey, this is like maybe how you had to play Mercury in the past, but now I want to play it this certain way, is super interesting and makes for a really fun meta. Just top to bottom, I've been really impressed with what we put out in this most recent patch. How do you think it changes competitive game times, though? Because a lot of what I had heard about the previous season, so it's Season of Souls. I'm getting so confused based on what they are. But the previous season, a lot of people were saying, look, these games are going really long. In particular, it's super difficult to close out games, end games. You know, we could be at the Titan room at 30 minutes, and we're going to still be there in another 10. Do you think some of that has been addressed in the most recent patch? Is it easier to close out games, or where are we at right now in that regard?
Fire Giant, I think, is currently bugged. I think it's getting...
Yeah.
Is it getting changed? I don't know. I have no idea what they're doing with it.
It's too easy to kill right
But
now.
it dies like in
Was it just like
5 seconds to like almost any comp in the
You go
game.
from a Whiplash of Season of Souls where Fire Giant was impossible to kill to this one which dies in like 2 seconds from any comp.
Yeah, like if
what do you think? Is it like a protection bar nerf? Or?
I think its protection is bugged right now on
Okay.
normal FG.
Is the HP not bugged? Or is like
No, it still has HP.
yeah, it has a lot of HP.
It just
Okay.
dies.
Yeah,
It's
it
just
does-
squishy.
It does really quick.
Okay.
Because, like, for instance, like on Season of Souls, like Marty was picked a lot, and if you had a Marty, you really couldn't do fire unless you picked Fire Giant damage, like in the jungle or like in mid or duo wherever Marty wasn't. And like this patch, it doesn't. Marty can do fire in 5 seconds, so that means it's easy to do. So like that was probably like one of like a lot of people say Marty didn't really have a lot of weaknesses last patch, but that was definitely like one of his weak points that like you can kind of.
Just kind of weak auto attacks.
Yeah, just he doesn't have class or fast objective clears. So, but now it's like he kills it in 1 second. So,
Is that the main thing that's changed though? Is just that Fire Giant TTK?
I think that for sure affects the game time a lot, but also just the tikis in general and the recipes as well. Just having there's a lot of cooldown in the game. So like if you fight, as soon as you get blue tiki, and a lot of people are going bow as well, a lot of spells are flying all around the map.
Yeah, man, it's so easy to stack up cooldown now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about maybe how some of those starter items or some of those tikis, excuse me, have been implemented into the game? Is there one that just kind of stands out as like, yo, I want that tiki, or is it
I think
different phases, different mechanics?
the blue totem is the most universal
cooldown.
the
Yeah.
entire game. because 10% CDR will never not be good.
And it changes up how you're allowed to build as well. Like you can just really shift up your build. I agree. I think that one is very powerful.
Then late game, the green one's pretty.
The green one's good.
The green and blue one are the best ones.
Really, the green one, that takes me off guard. I wasn't expecting the green one.
Late game as a tank.
Remind me in particular.
Especially as a warrior.
It's
10% health and mana.
Yeah, and mana.
Yeah, you get like what 300 late game around there.
Because if you're a warrior,
It's really worth it as much as like 10% cooldown or like.
Well, you usually get full cooldown as a warrior anyways. 'Cause
Yeah.
You get the 10%.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're building a pretty win.
Pretty sure-
Usually, so.
The best totems is like blue, then green, then
The lifesteal and
purple,
yeah.
red, then speed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm pretty
pen
sure it's
one.
that order.
Okay.
The
pen
Pen one's
weird.
the pen one's cool. But
It's
it's
good.
It's just 5%, so it's
Yeah.
like awkward.
It should. I feel like. I mean, maybe 10%.
10% 's too
pen
OP,
would
I'm
be
pretty
OP.
sure.
It should be like 10 flat or like.
Well,
something
10
like
flat's too OP as well.
and flats really.
What if it was like
Flats would be
5% pen and maybe a little bit of power as well?
That could be.
Something
I
like
mean,
that.
I mean,
That'd also be
thing
OP.
is-
OP, okay.
Pen is like risky to like buff because it's so good when it's.
When it's
too
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just an extra item. If it was
Yeah.
10%.
5%.
But if it was flat pen, you're just killing people instantly.
maybe 5 flat. That'd be it.
I think that's still too OP.
You think so?
Yeah, flat is way too good.
Flats are really good.
Imagine 100 fighting each other with flat.
Or
mate.
Guardian just picks it up and then walks like an Ares picks it up and walks into
Oh,
a lane,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
early game, and then you chain someone for their
Yeah,
entire health
I guess
bar.
that's true.
5 flat pen.
Yeah, it's tough. So we're thinking cooldowns, HPs, and that's generally where we're at. Does that
Yeah.
change based on the phase of the game? You say like mainly late game, maybe you're looking at HP, otherwise it's
Yeah.
cooldown or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think cooldown for early to mid and then HP late. Yeah, for sure. I think like the tikis are like relatively balanced, but I think the recipes are pretty imbalanced right now.
Yeah.
Gooseberries and Bao are just well.
That
above
was like the best one.
That was so good.
Yeah,
Bao was
was
way
so
too
good.
good.
Sturdy
That was
Stew is like sneakily like
Yeah,
pretty
Sturdy
good as
Stew's
well.
pretty good.
I feel like
Yeah.
the tank ones are like just a really small adjustment away from being in a really good
I think
spot.
drumstick
drumstick-
needs.
Oh,
I think
drumstick
drumstick
is
needs
terrible.
A lot of help.
Needs
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of help. I think
Yeah.
it's terrible.
But it's like if you
Yep.
give an item like drumsticks, like if you make it really good, then you could see like almost everybody buying. That's like
I
that's
don't
the
even
risk.
know you would
Yeah.
see that because even if you up the numbers, it just takes one stray support auto or ability and it would take it away.
No, I'm saying like
Well,
change the
but-
effect.
yeah,
Like,
like,
say,
it
You
lasts
have to
for
change
3
it.
seconds or
You have to
something.
change
Yeah.
the effect of it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Percent mit's like they also buffed Odie Hunter's garb as well in this patch, so it's like you don't want to buff percent mit too much or else it's not gonna be fun to play carry.
Yeah, get that Robin meta back.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Or like beginning of this season when people were going the full mit build with like
Ugh.
prophetic sigil Oni Hunters.
That was one of the worst metas to play ranked in. I feel like unless you were like that guy, it felt so bad to get ran down.
So many like Bluestone was really OP then too, and that's when people were doing the Bluestone Loki thing. We just stealth around and
Oh my god.
God, I miss old decoy. I miss it so much.
yeah.
I got a question for you, Myflin. For
You've
the
been hosting podcasts too much, man.
for the when you're casting, is like what are the hardest? Is Tiki gonna be like a hard word to like implement to the casting? Like, is that like because it's like a weird word to say? I feel like
Yeah.
Like when you talk about it, are you gonna say like Tiki only once? Are you gonna use it multiple times? Or like how's that gonna work?
I think it's interesting because for the most part, I feel like you guys are gonna figure out which tiki is just the best.
Yeah.
And you're gonna run that one. So the only time I would ever bring it up is if I notice it getting changed or if it's different from the expectation, right? Because
Yeah.
I think pros, and this is true of every game, you guys find the best thing and you just run it until it's not the best thing anymore. So I don't imagine there's going to be a whole lot of shifting around with the tikis.
Not a lot of Tiki talk.
Yeah, I think it would be like, oh, now they've got access to blue tiki, like let's rock, you know what I mean? But otherwise,
Yeah.
not a whole lot.
Yeah.
But what are like the weirdest words that you've had to say like on cast? Like what are hard words? Because I feel like Tiki is like a word like that that's like kind of weird to use. I don't know why, but it just doesn't come off the tongue well.
There are some abilities that I just think are just really poorly named. Like every time Soul's in the game, I'm not gonna say her kit because there's like Stellar Burst and then there's like Solar Flare or something like that. Disapparate.
She has cool abilities.
They're cool ability names, but also it's like which one is the ultimate? Like I don't know. Or like a main thing, and it was something that aggro fought to get banned actually, way back when I first started, was anytime there is a player name in a team name. Like let's say we were doing the All-Stars recently. It was like Panatom and the 5Ms or something like that, or no, the Panatoms, and I'm like, no,
Fonzo family
or the Fonzo. Well, that's okay because he's not Fonzo in game, but
the Herwind was playing Janice when we were Unstable Vortex, and that was really
tough.
hard to cast. I remember. I think Gore was saying that was like, yeah, this is not easy to cast. Or I don't remember if it was Gore or JMac, but that does not sound fun.
Yeah, so I mean, not to get too much into casting and the nitty-gritty of it, it's not even that like words are hard to say. It's trying to make sure that the viewer understands what you're saying. So anytime that there's like that level of like, oh, there's 3 things he could be talking about when he says Unstable Vortex: the ability, the team name, or like, just the state of the game. And it's like, well,
Unstable Vortex.
it's like, you know what I mean? Like, so stuff like that's a little bit tough.
Yeah.
But what about you as a player? Are you like worried about having to drop a tiki in comms?
There are, I guess, like the Beacon and Bastion thing, but like the thing is like a player, it doesn't matter. I mean, I say stuff wrong all the time, I'm sure. As long as people know what you're saying, that's all that matters. Like on your team, like, we were talking about this on the podcast last time.
Plug the podcast. Plug it. Let's hear it.
Yes, Travelers Proc. We're gonna try to do an episode every week. I think it's gonna be Sunday, but that is a but right now. I'll tweet more about it once I know, or Mike will tweet about it. But anyways, we were talking about on the last episode, making calls, like, because I used to do a thing where I'm dumb sometimes in game, and when I call left, I'm thinking right, and Benji would always get really mad at me.
I wonder why.
Yeah. But it's not because I don't know my lefts from rights or rights from lefts. It's more so like I'm in the game and I'm doing something else and I call it and I'm just dumb in the moment. So I started we were talking about how it's good to just use duo and solo. Like, it's a good habit to get into. And like as long as you know what your team is like saying, then it's like there isn't really anything hard, I feel like. But that's like the hardest thing that I can remember, is where I would say they're coming left, and then Benji would be like, wait, they're all here at my blue, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I meant right. But yeah, that's like the only example that I could think of.
It's a complete departure from the conversation, but this did just remind me of something I was talking to Hazer about recently, and it was actually about your team in particular. And tell me if this is like too out there, but do you guys see a delineation between shot callers and in-game leaders? Like, and to try and put into perspective how I'm trying to word that, I had always been under the assumption, outside looking in, for every single one of your teams, Aror, that you were dedicated shot caller. Like, you said everything that's going to happen and when it's going to happen, because, that's just the vibe you get off. Very confident dude, very loud, very outspoken. But you had actually told me last year that that's mainly Cyclonespin for the most part. But I don't see Cyclonespin as an in-game leader. Now I see you holistically as a shot caller, and I can kind of see it in the teams that, having gone back and like watched how your teams have played, I can see your calls there. But the in-game leaders, like the guy who's like, yo, let's try and focus up, or like, yo, let's get energy rolling, or asking for the calls and stuff like that. Do you see yourself maybe as an in-game leader, or is there any delineation in that regard? Like, how does the dynamic of the ferryman kind of look in that situation?
I don't really know. Like, I don't like if my team sees me as that, cool, but like I guess I don't like strive to be that. I just try to do my best, like, in the games, and just give information and make calls when I can. Like, I'll make some calls. Like, I have points in the game where I like to make certain calls, but I feel like, I mean, this year I feel like our team's very fortunate. We have 3 really strong shot caller type players, like between like you, Cyclone, and Baskin, and then also Sino. There's like 3 very strong shot callers, and I feel like that was one of our biggest problems at the beginning of the year, for sure, because like there's like too many, like there's that saying, like there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, with
at
3
the same
callers,
time.
that'd be tough. I think.
Yeah. So I feel like there's still a lot of work to be done, like with our team. Like we are not anywhere near perfect, but I feel like during Masters we kind of got into like a little bit of a groove and we started improving like a lot faster than the start of the year. Like the improvements we were making at the start of the year were much slower than the practice, I feel like, towards the end. So I feel like we're getting better and better at it, but like our team has, I feel like, I will say it's probably one of the best teams, like in terms of like communication that it's probably the best team I've been on for communication. And it's probably one of the best teams I would say ever, maybe. But it's definitely like Cyclone, Baskin, Sino are very strong callers, like all three of them. So it makes it easy. Like it's a good problem to have, I will say. But it
way easier to fix than having quiet players.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would say like there's more of like a difference between like in-game leader and shot caller, kind of the same thing to me. But I think there's more of a difference between like in-game leader or shot caller and like just like team leader kind of, because like I would say Cyclone does most of our like shot calling. Like I'll like call like TP rotations, and then like Sino will definitely call stuff, and then Aurora does a lot of calling around like I think Fire Giant, and then like some like or plays to get like picks and like stuff like that. Like you called like the Fire Giant that we did against Hounds, right? That we and then horse salted out,
which was sick, by the way.
Yeah. But I would say like I guess if you have to like put a label on it, I would say Cyclones are in-game shot caller, but I would say Aurora and Sign are more of our like out of game like team leaders in terms of like picks and stuff like that. So I would say like there's more of a delineation in that sense. Like, if that makes sense.
Do you think that role extends even outside of like Smite as well? Like if someone's planning a team dinner, like who's that guy?
I mean, that'd be Aurora.
That's Aurora for sure.
Yeah, Aurora's always trying to get us to do stuff.
Or like go out for like outings and stuff like that, or that's still you, Aurora? Okay.
Yeah, for the most probably me.
Yeah.
So I think that's where that team leader kind of comes into play as well.
Yeah.
Do you think, Baskin, it's been tough to like adjust to shot calling? Because as well with you,
definitely at the beginning.
you've always been like a very vocal leader in game.
Yeah.
You feel like you've had to take a step back a little bit to accommodate the other callers on the team, or what's the deal?
I mean I've taken a step back for sure, but it's definitely like a welcome step back kind of like. I think it's like, well, I think Soul Lane is not a role where you can be a very impactful shot caller, at least like through the early and mid game. Like
first 20 you're kind of stuck.
You just call what you can do.
Yeah, it's like you call your TP rotation.
Yeah, you feed the information to the side of the map.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I feel like support and jungler are the two best roles for like shot calling early game. And then like when it comes to mid game around objectives, one of the backline roles is, in my opinion, good at shot calling, just because they can see everything and they know
if your ADC can interact with it, your whole team can interact with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but definitely at the beginning, like Aurora said, we had too many cooks in the kitchen, but we kind of sorted that out. Like
stop the kitchen from burning.
Yeah, the kitchen was burning.
Well, yeah, like the kitchen's burned out. We're like in rebuild mode right now, basically.
Yeah.
We're gonna open again soon.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What changed? Was it? Has one person like in particular like really started to step back on comms? Like was there a conversation like, hey guys, is there someone that's got like ultimate say?
I think it's just repetition.
Just getting used to each other.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say anyone has like, in terms of ultimate say, I wouldn't say like, well, one, I think like, I do think like we kind of all just got on the same page at some point, so we don't really disagree on much. And if someone calls something with like, it's like very noticeable when someone calls something and they're super confident in it. Like
they're yelling at you.
Yeah, exactly. Like the call that you made on Fire versus Hounds. I don't remember exactly, but I remember you were like, it was like a different tone, like, you know. So it's like no one's gonna like.
You can't say
like,
no.
No, right? Yeah. But wait, what was the question again? I forgot.
I forgot too. I'm engrossed.
Talking.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Look, I'll say this though. On teams in the past, I've had someone be like a no man. Like Air Cougar, I don't know if you guys have ever interacted with him. He would always rein in the shot calls in the team, and we gave him ultimate say. So I'd be like, yo, 15 minutes, let's do Fire Giant. Probably not a good call. He says no, it doesn't happen. But if he doesn't, things would roll. Is there anyone that kind of fills that role on the team? Like, is there a voice of reason that kind of reins in the calls sometimes? Or as you said, you generally agree?
I think like recently no, but definitely
really.
At the beginning that was like a big issue or whatever. That was like a big.
Saying no too much is a bad thing.
It could be good sometimes.
What do you mean
but
by
it's
that?
Like,
Well, if you're always not doing something, you're just not playing proactively, and that's the worst way to play Smite.
It's better to lose a game doing
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather die losing the game going for like a 15-minute fire giant than just sit there and watch the game bleed out
Yeah.
slowly and do nothing.
Yeah.
I agree completely. That's one of my. I mean, I said it about the Renegades way back. I felt like that was a team that really embodied the "we are not going to lose right now" play style. Like,
the
let's
Oni
lock
Warriors
it down.
last year.
Oni Warriors last year too.
Yeah.
Yep. Some teams have like locked in that style and it worked. Like PK's run, like that was a team that for the first 40 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have a conversation about winning the game. It was like, let's get to 40 minutes, and then they would like bleed you out, right? But it is much more entertaining to see teams like put it all out on the field and like really try and make their plays. And I think that's why Aurora, some of your teams have always been like really fun to watch. Any team that's got Aurora on it is going to go for the backdoors. It's going to go for the wraparound plays on Fire Giant. It's going to go for these like really high risk, high reward style things. I would say almost like, I think it was maybe a Cyclonespin call. Like you guys were some of the first people to do we lost Fire Giant, 5-stack around Gold Fury and try and catch him. Like that was definitely like for sure a very unique play style to you guys that eventually was adapted by the entirety of the league, and for a while maybe became a little bit predictable. But it is very good to see the willingness to like take those risky plays and make plays and things like that. Makes for just super entertaining Smite. But you say saying no is potentially a bad thing in general. If you do it too much, is that only just because you're worried about like maybe missing out on those plays, or do you think can it be like discouraging for your teammates if you're like always shooting down their ideas?
It is definitely very discouraging if you're just calling off someone's calls every single time without, we're not doing anything. So might as well get something going.
Especially if it's like a practice game too. Like, why might as well try it, and if it doesn't work, you'd be like, that was a stupid call. Like, don't do that again. But like, if it works, and you're like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Who's most likely of our 3-headed core of shot callers to make like the goofy call? Like who's the one that's like pushing it a little too hard?
Sino wants to get in there.
That makes sense to
That guy
me.
goes buck wild.
He's just like, we got to fight now, or like we're doing like crazy end calls, or like what's up?
He sees something.
He sees red. Is what he
For sure. Sino almost reminds me. Have any of you guys teamed with Scream before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All of us.
Oh, yeah,
wait,
all
all
of you have, yeah.
At the same time too.
He reminds me a lot of Sprack. Is that like an apt comparison, or you think they're very different?
They're kind of similar.
They're like similar, but not really at the same. It's like, I don't know. What's a good word for that?
Their
Like,
play styles are similar. They like getting in there.
Really?
They do like getting in there.
Or I think Sino's a lot more get in there than Scream.
Well, yeah, no, Sino's way more, but
Well-
Scream kind of likes getting in there.
I feel like they both have a really good thing as a jungler. Like the fact that they're not afraid. Like Twig as well is like another one. Like they'll get in there like if they need to. Like there's some junglers
The
out
opposite
there.
of a KD player.
They're 100% confident in themselves to you.
Yeah, they'll put it out there and they'll do it for sure. But like Scream's more of like GPM king. Like that's what he wants to do. Like go around and like split push and like get as much gold as possible. I mean, I think all junglers like doing that a lot, but
Love it.
Scream probably likes it the most. And then like Sino's more of like he wants to do that, but then he also wants to get in there more than Scream. But I don't know. They're similar, but they're not. Is how I see it, at least from playing with both of them.
I think like pick wise they could be a little similar in the sense that they
like to pick whatever they're feeling.
Yeah, they like
they're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that's like a really interesting dynamic as well, because like especially in like high stakes games, like if your boy's like really confident, says get me this pick, even if that pick is Bastet or like Surtur or Nike or E-Set jungle or Scotty jungle, and your boy says it like on the world stage, can you like tell him no? Like it feels like it'd be so deflating.
I don't think so.
Like you just kind of have to let it rock.
Yeah.
Has that ever been a frustration point with the Ferrymen? Like maybe some of these more out of left field picks out of the jungle?
I'm fine with anything anyone plays besides
I'm the same
Chernobog
way.
in the solo lane.
Besides that,
That one though.
Well, me, I mean, I had a problem with us playing Suitor early on, But once it came to Masters, I didn't really have a problem with us picking on this stuff that we picked. But yeah, I mean, definitely some of the early on picks, like Suitor especially, was kind of like. I mean,
it felt not good. It didn't look good, at least from our perspective on the cast.
I mean, it impacted me the most because like I'm diving, so it's like very hard to dive like with that character. So that's why I didn't want it personally. But it had its upsides too because it has like insane early mid pressure. But I don't see that. I just only see the dive. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to lands though, like even like so we didn't pick Nike at all leading up into the LAN. I like Sino just like I forget why, but they're like I think he thought it was bad at some point. And we didn't practice it at all. But then like we played it versus Hounds, I think, and like he said like he's like I think I'm gonna pick Nike here. I forgot what he said exactly, but yeah, no one called him off or anything. Like
Nepal was like, yes, pick it.
Yeah,
and then you got to pick it then at that point.
Like you kind of like gotta put faith like when you're in a LAN setting at least like. Yeah.
Absolute confidence to get the absolute win for sure.
Yeah.
Man, Sino is such an interesting player, right? He's another one of those guys that's just been in the scene for such a long time too. Played in console, played PC, played SCC.
Did you play against him?
I did, yeah. He was better than me for sure. I mean, me personally, I've never been.
But you
an
won
impressive
Worlds
player.
and he didn't. Though.
That's right. I don't know how much of this story I can tell. Afterward, I had beat him at the World Championship that I won. I believe that's season 4 or 5.
But you won season 4 or 5?
Something like that. Like
Didn't you win season 2?
No, I lost.
Season 3. Sorry, season 3.
No,
I won season 2.
Season 3.
Season 3. I thought you won.
I think that was SML.
Were you on Eager?
Yeah. Was it season 3? Am I just
season
wrong?
Season 3. Yeah.
I get this. I get it mixed so
Eager
often.
was season 3. Yeah, not season 2. Season 3. Yeah.
Okay, so I beat him in season 3. And this is back when all the players were at the Renaissance Hotel. And if you guys have been following Smite throughout the years, you know that a lot of fun stories go down at the Ren.
Mm-hmm.
But I was walking back to my room. It was like 1 a.m. And Sino is slumped in the corner, like in the hallway. His girlfriend at the time was like literally dragging him on the ground. So I was like, I have to check on him. I have to check on like I was like, is he getting kidnapped? Because I didn't know her either. And he's just like, he's out of it. He's clearly inebriated. And I like finally get his attention. I think like, and I would never do this now. I was like 16 or 17 at the time. I like snapped in his face, like trying to like wake him up. And he literally locks eyes with me and he goes, I lost. And I was like, yeah, dude, let's get you back to your room. And he looks at me and he says, I lost. And that's all he said. He said it maybe 30 times. Just like, I lost. And I think that speaks volumes to him as a person, like how much of a competitor he is and how much it affected him. But also, and I don't know if you guys can relate to this, me personally, I was like, yes, I destroyed this person. Like he is no longer a functioning human because of what I did to him on the battleground of the gods, you know, like and that really fed my ego.
You really beat him down like that video game right there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. He probably out KD'd me, outplayed me, outdamaged me. He probably did it all because I was getting carried every game. But I had that still in my heart. I was like, yes. That was Air Cougar, Jelly, Dworst. Wow, you are the historian, man.
I actually remember all those names.
And Unrelinquished, who was going by Delta Marine 72.
Yeah.
Unre.
He's a mid, right?
He was, yeah, a mid player.
Who carried you guys?
Agni main.
It was Unre. That guy was just different.
That guy carried you guys?
He was just different on console. And Air Cougar's shot calling was amazing too. Occasionally, yeah.
Okay, I just remember that guy playing Agni a lot.
Yeah. He definitely played it on PC back in the day.
Yeah.
We could not get dubs on PC.
You played Poseidon as well, right?
Yes. Poseidon, Agni, Hebo. We don't let him play any more Hebo, but it was mostly like soul. There was a lot of soul from him.
So P back in the day.
You know, while we're talking about the past, I'm roommates with Kabam. That's one of our admins here at Smite. He runs the league. He reminds me on like a bi-weekly basis, Aror, that in season 2 you like sold me like 15 times or something as Athena, and I don't remember it either. I probably blocked it out. He remembers it vividly. It's such a crazy thing to think about, especially like how long it's been too.
You were on the team with Gumi, right?
That was Gumi. Yeah. I think at the time he was Vesalius. That was Elevate.
Like Elevate.
That was Elevate. We were owned by Rival. Our contract was sold to Elevate. And then I had to play season 2 through them, which was I don't think Elevates exists anymore.
You
so
played
that's all I'll say.
SPL, right, for 1 or 2 phases?
Yep. I finished out the year. I think I had 4 wins.
Nice.
One of the lowest KDs out of the jungle ever. Still hold that record.
Do you remember your wins though?
I remember one of them in particular, and it was against C9, I think. Whatever Barracuda's team name was.
C9, yeah.
And in Stir had just got DDoSed or doxed or something, so his internet goes out. He used up his pause to drive to his house. Yeah, you might have been. Drives to Barracuda's house. Barracuda gets DDoS. Yeah. So now they're both off. And I remember someone on the team messaged me, was like, will you pause for us? And then I looked at my win-loss and said no. Especially because back then, if you wanted any money, it was based on games that you won. Yeah. And I think like Dark Souls just came out, and I wanted that game. So I was like, I'm taking this dub. And it was like one of the 3 dubs I ever got in the SPL.
And you hold it proudly to this day.
That's right. It's the only one I remember. Let's go. Were there any moments like that in your guys' careers where you just like felt that thrill of like crushing a competitor? Was there like maybe a rival that you had, like a person that you like set out to beat when you were first joining the league or anything like that?
No.
Not really.
Really?
Like more so in like ranked. Like if I ever get to like herd the sheep in their fountain, like just like no matter who it is, like if you can get 5 people in their fountain and you can camp them for like an extended period of time, that's like the best.
You're a big fan of the just like lock them in a fountain play.
Okay, so one of my first games, speaking Kabam, one of my first games with Kabam, we found camped a team, and he's like, oh, people do this. I'm like, yes, this is how you play the game. And then the next day it got on the front page of Smite Reddit, and it had like 100 upvotes, and people were like saying like, these people are so trash, like they're terrible
dude, I remember that. Yeah. Actually, I remember that. You guys were getting like witch hunted for real.
Yeah, because I would do that every game. Like it was like a normal thing for me. Like if I was winning, like I would always fountain camp, and Kabam's like, we shouldn't do this anymore. I'm like, no, I'm still doing it. But that's like one of my favorite things. Even till this day, I love doing that still. Like even if it's a normal conquest, if I can fountain camp,
you're gonna be doing it.
I'm doing it.
Yo, yeah. Fair enough.
And then speaking of Smite vocabulary, another word that I used, I feel like that got, I don't know if I was the one who pioneered it, but I used it a lot. Like the very beginning was panic end, and I feel like everybody uses it now.
It's such a funny meme, bro. Anytime like anybody goes for an end, you're gonna have someone in like chat saying like panic end.
Yeah, because that's what it's from, by the way. Because I would say I'm not panic ending, and every time someone like would end like that and not found camp, I would call it a panic end. Because that's literally where it came from, and that's why I started using it so much. Was from camping people in their fountain.
That's awesome. Any toxic plays from you two that you happen to enjoy?
Oh, I know one for Baskin.
Are you talking about the Incon one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, you got multiple. Let's go.
Share that one.
Well, I forgot what season. I think it was in season 2. I don't remember the story exactly, but me and Bickham, we sniped Incon's Q. Yeah, we were do queuing and we sniped Incon's Q.
Sorry, Incon.
Yeah, and we played like Thor and Thor Loki or something, and we killed him
gross
either 17 or 18 times, and he went like 1 in 17 or 1 in 18. And he thought we were ghosting him. I'm not 100% sure. We weren't. We just like hopped in his queue. And then Dan, Dan
McHugh,
SPL admin at the time, he messaged us saying that like we could maybe get banned if we like kill him.
Oh, wow.
I forget the story exactly, but I still have the DM from him, like messaging us like, "Hey, like, don't do this anymore." But yeah, because I think he thought we were ghosting him, but we were just like in this queue, just like playing Thor Loki. Yeah,
that'll happen.
What was the one that you thought for me? I actually don't know.
Okay, so back in season 2, we used to do in-houses every once in a while. And now, I wonder if you're going to remember when I say...
Oh, hurry?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
That is one of my favorite plays of all time. Yeah, that was season 2. Yeah, we
so long.
You were playing Ymir.
Yep.
And you were at red buff, right?
Yeah.
And
he was playing Bastet, right? I think.
Yeah, you walled him in, right? They were on the same team.
Yeah.
And Hurry literally freaked it as hard as you could, and let me say another in-house of like, because we were like playing like in-houses for like a couple days, right? It was like 2 or 3 days, and that was like day 3 or 4.
Yeah, and they're going like they're going pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, in-houses were done.
Yeah.
They were dissolved.
Tyler raged the in-house meta. Like, he just got rid of it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I think that was the last one we played. I like walled his back, right?
No,
Or
you
something like that?
no, you like he like Basta jumped in or something and jumped back.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was on
then-
his team.
You're on his team.
Yeah.
And then they were all coming around the corner, and he was running, and I think you walled
Yeah,
him.
okay, yeah,
And then he
yeah,
was
yeah.
stuck, and he's like, dude, why'd you do that? Or something.
I just
and then
had
he
to do it.
died.
I had to do
And
it.
then you started laughing, and like your like Baskin laugh, and he kept more and more
Baskin
mad.
laugh.
And like you were laughing, and you didn't think he cared that much, but he actually was really mad, and you just kept laughing harder and harder because he kept getting more mad. And he's like, "Okay, I'm done," and then he just left the game. And then like in-houses were just done after that.
Dude, Hurdy probably still holding a grudge, like punching air.
He probably still remembers, yeah.
That was great.
What about you, Spinner? Any crazy toxic moments in the career over there?
I don't remember anything.
No. Yeah, you're definitely like the Paul type of just like I show up and I game. I that's like always the vibe I've gotten.
There's probably some there, but it's
Your corpse explosion through Janus portal on 5 people.
Ooh,
it
what
wasn't
is
really
that?
toxic though.
That's just a cool sounding moment.
It was just an epic moment.
That was toxic though.
It was toxic for them.
Yeah.
Good for me.
Fair enough. Well, boys, I think that's about all the time we've got. Okay. So anything you want to plug, socials, Twitches, anything like that, go ahead. You got a minute here.
Check out my podcast every Sunday. I think it's going to be like I said earlier, but it's not
This Sunday pending.
confirmed. Yes, this Sunday pending. We have guests planned as well, so stay tuned.
Well, you wanna like secret reveal maybe who the guest is? Like
I don't want a secret reveal because what if they back out? Right?
oh, yeah, I get that.
That's the problem.
Yep.
Yeah. Why are you backing out, Baskin?
Woony? No.
No, it's not Mooney.
Not me.
Anything you guys want to plug? Socials? Anything like that?
No.
No. God, Cyclone, I've always been so jealous of your socials because like you're like one of the OG like pillars of Smite. So like you like got in. I think you're at like 15,000 on Twitter or something like that.
18,000.
Yeah. I'm at like 8,000.
That's pretty good though.
No, yeah, for sure.
that
I'm
is
very
good.
happy with it. But 18K, I feel like that era of like players like really
Oh,
got a lot of
It
following.
was because I had the check mark for so long.
Dude, yeah. Did you get it from a sponsor?
Got it from Envy.
That's so sick. I'm so jealous.
Every SPL pro got it, right?
Well, I got
never
it.
got-
I
I
got
never
it.
got it.
I got
I
it.
never got it.
I got it like earlier than almost everybody
Uh,
because I was on Envy.
yeah.
He's better than you.
Yeah,
Yeah, you used to hang out with like,
Envy was such
was it Offline TV they used to hang out with sometimes?
No,
There was like,
I never hung out with them.
I feel like there was like someone, like some famous streamer group that you used to vibe with.
You used to
No,
play with DM a lot, right?
Yeah.
you mean redacted?
Yeah, redacted,
Oh,
bro.
is that what I
Redacted,
heard?
Yeah,
man.
redacted info.
My bad.
Dude.
I didn't know.
Redacted, dude.
So that's it. That's all we got.
We're getting off. Oh my god, we gotta leave, guys.
Yeah, we gotta go. We're deleting the VOD. Quick, fade to black or star wipe. I don't know what we do in production. Yeah.